Randstad India Talent Pod presents Mind Matters.
Hello and welcome to a brand new podcast from the Randstad universe. My name is Neerja. I'm your host and this is Randstad India Talent Pod presents Mind Matters, an exclusive podcast series powered by the Sane Forward Employee Resource Group at Randstad India. Now, this is a very special series. We're going to be talking to experts on various matters concerning the mind so that we can be better equipped to take care of ourselves and also understand each other a little bit better. To start us off on this amazing journey, we have Anjali Raghuvanshi, Chief People Officer, Randstad India, who's also the head of the Business Innovation and Corporate Services team. And she also happens to be an active mental health ambassador for the Sane Forward Employee Resource Group at Randstad. I'm excited, so let's go right ahead and get started.
You're listening to the Randstad India Talent Pod, where fun meets work.
We are truly so thrilled that we have Anjali here to kick off this series as we attempt to navigate the importance of mental well-being and also understand how best we can take better care of ourselves. Anjali, thank you for, starting things off on this podcast. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much, Neerja. I think this is amazing and I'm very happy to be here. I think this is one topic very close to my heart. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. It's one topic close to your heart and all of our hearts because it's become so important for us to be equipped to take care of ourselves, and understanding mental health is very crucial for that, especially within the organization, because it creates a safe space for the employees, right? Why do you think, Anjali, it's become such a pressing issue for us?
Absolutely. I think, first of all, the realization, I would say, for probably a lot of people happened in 2020. And we know the reason why, especially because of COVID and suddenly being part of the lockdown. I think that's exactly when we also felt that probably this was a topic always important, but never had the significance that it should have had. I think that's where the realization and acknowledgement and the appreciation of this also happened for me as the person who represents the HR function for the organization, and also I would say for the organization itself. But I think where I feel that our journey probably differentiated from a lot of other people was there were a lot of organizations who were always having employee assistance program before than us as. But I think what differentiates it for us is the heart of it all. I think the intentionality of it all, because I or probably Randstad is not doing it because it's a good to have conversation or it's a great to have thing in the organization. We are doing it because we truly believe that it matters. And this is, to me, what makes it so interesting and exciting as a HR professional as well. To simply just quote some numbers, right? I think if we just look at the economy itself, we kind of almost lose US $1 trillion through loss of productivity because of things like depression and anxiety. Mm-hmm. And that, even if I'm talking to a business person, will make a humongous impact on their head, that if only they could do something in this area, how much they would actually bring to the table by just enhancing the productivity in the organization. So I think for us as HR professionals, it's also about translating it to a business leader as to why this topic is so crucial and important for you. Not only because it's something which is, of course, is the right thing to say, but it's also something that makes complete right sense for your business as well. And hence you should be kind of coming onto this journey. So in a way, it kind of actually tackles two problems for us. One, we are doing the good to the society that it deserves. And second, we are also doing good to the business that the business deserves. So I think that's the way I look at it. And also looking at, the other number that kind of was very interesting to me is that almost 15% of your working age adult lives with some sort of a psychological or mental disorder. And imagine if that population is currently working within your organization, how it's not able to bring its best self to work every day. And what could you do as an organization to actually help that?
That's so very well said, Anjali, and you've set the right context here. The heart is literally at the heart of everything Randstad does. How do you think Randstad is acknowledging the importance of mental health and embracing measures towards the psychological safety of its people? What are some steps you think Randstad has taken so far?
I think here again, I would start with some numbers to just kind of bring things into perspective. When we started our EAP journey as an organization, and we tied up with our partner, Your Dost, and we said that, okay, we definitely need to give a platform to our people to be able to really come up with these, to have the conversations with the right set of people, because of course we were not equipped to do these conversations. Today at Randstad, we offer this to 16,000 plus people in the organization. Of course, we have a base of 70,000 and we are constantly conversing with our clients. How can we reach out to more and more people? But even to be able to do this for 16,000 people in the organization by constantly working with our clients and helping them understand how this actually helps every employee on a daily basis is a great effort, I would say. And what I take pride in is that Randstad is a pioneer in this space. In the entire staffing and recruitment industry, we are one organization that actually went with this journey and passionately behind it. And in that 16,000 plus people that we have, almost 1,500 people have signed up on the platform to receive therapy or speak up with somebody or get some sort of a counseling to them. And topics are varied, from starting from relationships to self-improvement to psychological disorders, sexual wellness, are the topics around which more, and career as well, around which our employees actually reach out to these people and seek out help. And if I look at some of the feedback that we receive, is that they felt that they had somebody on the platform who showed empathy. They felt that they actually had a great time after speaking up. They realized that they were feeling so relieved in their life, and they could have someone with whom they could share their problems, who was not part of the problem or who was not coming from their life or professional or personal, and actually heard them from a very unbiased point of view. And I think giving that platform to people and helping them ease out their stress, their tension, actually did so much wonder to them that they actually could come back with a new found energy and enthusiasm back to work. So I think that's the first thing we did at Randstad, gave them an opportunity to have those conversations, and knowing and acknowledging fully well that we were not the right people to do that conversation. The second is about breaking the taboo around it. I think the biggest hurdle in my mind in this world around mental well-being is that people shy away from saying that they have a problem.
Yeah.
People feel that, they'll be judged for saying that, or somebody will think that probably they're low on capability if they have an issue like this. I think having constant dialogue, and that's where I really love the Sane Forward ERG that we have in the group, where we openly speak about that it's okay. It's like if you have a leg cramp one day and you can't and you limp and you probably don't work effectively that day. If that's not shameful, similarly, having a day when you feel you are actually having anxiety attacks or panic attacks, or having a feeling of depression, or you feel like crying, is also similarly a reaction of your mind to what it is going through. So why is that so bad and the other thing is not so bad? And why is us as a society have actually created those things? So I think having people who come out and are champions of these and speaking in the organization actually made people at ease that it's okay to have this conversation. It's fine. You can talk about it. Now the next journey that we are looking at is that we also equip our line managers, our managers in the system, that they are able to understand these conversations. They're able to see the signs of it, and they can actually send a person to the right platform or for help if they feel that probably somebody needs a little bit of help. So I think that would be the next journey to me. But I think every organization must create platforms which makes these conversations easy to do, accepts people for sharing and sharing their problems around areas like depression, anxiety, mental disorder, and give them the help that they need in the, of course, the limits and the freedom of framework that we have within the organization, without, of course, jeopardizing the privacy of the individual. So I think anonymity is the other thing that we constantly push for, because in things like these, it's a comfort of the individual that matters. So maintaining their privacy and ensuring that they feel that they're heard in the closed space that they want to be heard, and not try making an example out of them. So I think, how do you maintain that as an organization? And still have the respect be there, I think is something also we strived as an organization. So it's a completely anonymous platform, while Sane Forward ERG is a group of like-minded people with similar thought process coming in together, and we are creating a community out there to say that it's okay to not be okay. At the same time, we how do we balance the anonymity part of it? So I think that I would say is how I would summarize the Randstad journey per se in this area.
Anjali, this must be so encouraging for the listener, because nothing says the company cares than providing a space where employees can get the help they need and have the conversations that need to be had around this. So that's amazing. Now, as this show suggests, it's called Randstad India Talent Pod presents Mind Matters. We are going to be dealing with matters of the mind. What is the thought process behind creating a show like this, and what can the average listener expect to gain from it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our Sane Forward ERG, when we had the meetup, and of course, Manju from our marketing team is the one who is the leader of the ERG, we were having this conversation that what is it that our employees probably need, especially when it comes to the mental well-being aspect of things. And we realized that it's a conversation where we really need to kind of, bring more people and have dialogues and conversations around this topic, because many topics, whether it is business related or other topics like whether it's a parent forward ERG or a woman forward ERG, these topics do happen quite often, but we do not have people who come as champions of from a mental well-being perspective and speak up about their own stories or things that they have done in their life which has actually kind of helped, or issues around mental well-being, etc. So I think we said that why don't we create a platform which actually creates the dialogue and the conversation in the organization and bring more people, not just like someone like me, but even our employees from the organization, experts from the field, outside of the organization as well. So we create more awareness around this subject in the organization. And the more the awareness is, the more acceptance, the more inclusiveness we will see as an organization. So I think that's where the whole idea came in, and we said, okay, let's just start with it, because mind does matter. And if the mind is healthy, if the mind is in the right place, you will see that, eventually people end up doing the right things and they have lesser burden on their head every day. So yeah, I would say that's where the whole idea sort of came in.
Yeah, that's great, because it's clear that this is not a surface level effort, but rather aims to go much deeper so we can see actual benefits come to life, right? On that note, what are some of the resources available to the workforce so they can get psychological support?
Yeah, absolutely, Nirja. So I think there are a couple of things that at Randstad we are doing. I'll start with, of course, our partner, Your Dost, which has been a very crucial partner for us in the last 3 years that we've been working with them. I think what I love about that platform is that it's a free access to all our employees. And as I said in the beginning, 16,000 plus people are there on that platform, free access to counseling, therapy, and also a lot of material that's available for you to from a self-help perspective as well. I think that's one, and that's been doing well. And we constantly get reports, etc., to also know how our employees are utilizing it. The second thing which I'm very passionate about, and I think that's something which is working very well for us as an organization, is our ERGs, the employee resource groups. And Sane Forward is one of the resource groups that's very, very active in the organization. And the kind of efforts they're putting together to bring a lot of education and awareness. So at Randstad, I would say our journey at this moment is a lot about creating education and awareness, because especially in the area of mental well-being, I feel there is very less we know as human beings. We have not explored this space very well. We don't acknowledge the challenges that people go through in their lives with all of these issues around depression, anxiety, panic attacks, or even simple day-to-day challenges that they don't have any place to go and speak about. They deal with and they bring all of that to work, or they take it to their personal lives. I think creating that awareness is something we are very passionate about. And Sane Forward as an ERG has been growing, the community has been growing, and really picking up some very interesting initiatives within the organization to push forward this agenda. The third thing is, what we've realized is that who is that one resource with whom you work the closest in the organization? And that is your manager. And if the manager fails to acknowledge and see the signs of deeper issues or problems that you have with respect to your mental health, then you have a problem, because you don't feel you have a psychologically safe workplace. You don't feel that you can actually speak up to your manager and tell them, I couldn't do, or I'm not feeling up to it today because of XYZ reason, because you feel that the manager is only interested in your work and he or she does not care how you feel. It's all about just delivering the outcomes. That's where we feel that probably the first person to see the sign is your manager. And if we could give them the basic awareness around how do you spot some of these things and really create some champions around in the organization on topics like these, it will actually make dialogues between manager and the employee, and also in the larger organization, far easier. So I think that's the other thing that we are looking to bring a program for our managers to really make them the champions of creating a psychologically safe workplace. And I think that's the next initiative I'm very happy about, because they become the change agent. And that is the beginning of a great momentum within the organization and a great movement for me.
Yeah, this is really interesting, and such well thought out resources taking into consideration how human beings behave and react within the context of a workplace, right? So I love that. Are there any policies, Anjali, you'd like to add to this that ensure employee well-being and promote a healthy work-life balance per se?
Yes, I think first of all, we all acknowledge physical health, and we all have insurance plans that covers all our physical health related issues, more or less. However, we don't see insurance plans covering mental health as a problem. And if you have to spend towards that, those are something that you do not get reimbursed as an employee. I think that is something, an area where we would like to sort of, bring in a change. And of course, we speak with our insurance organizations, etc., to see these are the changes and the evolution in the insurance industry that should be kind of coming in. What we do, the other thing we do is something called a Be Kind to Your Mind leaves. We do acknowledge that there are days probably you do not feel yourself, and those days you should have the flexibility and the freedom to actually take off because you want to be kind to your mind. And I think that's something that we introduced 3 years back, and it still continues in the organization. And we do encourage employees to just take leave if they feel that this is not your day. And I think that is something I have seen exciting our employees quite a lot, because not many organizations just give you off because you're not feeling yourself on that day from a mind perspective. So Be Kind to Your Mind is the other category that we've looked at. We also know that a lot of times we take care of a lot of our family members, and our peace of mind comes from the fact when our family is doing very well. So I think we also are an organization that encourages caregiving leave, etc., because let's just agree that when our families are doing well, we do well and we feel good, and we know that, okay, that part is taken care of, so I can focus on my work. And it's also about the intent of the organization. When we say some of these things, people know, okay, you care. You are not just doing it because it's a practice or it's a policy and the whole world is sort of doing it. I think those are the thing. Also, we were one of the organizations who just said that, okay, POSH is something that exists, of course, for protecting the women from sexual harassment. But we went a step forward and we said that we need anti-harassment policy for all genders and all kind of sexual orientation and whoever and however you identify yourself with, so that everybody in the organization feels safe as a human being. And I think that also kind of brings a lot of safety in your mind, that, okay, you are in a place where you feel safe. And when you feel safe, your mind is also a happier place. So I think these are some of the things I would say beyond and over and above from just a mental well-being topic, but also from an overall all-round mental well-being of an individual is something that we've looked at as an organization.
That's amazing. Anjali, I've got to say, these are some incredible steps in the right direction. And being kind to your mind is the essence of doing a series such as this as well. So it's great that that's something that exists in such a big way in the organization. And a big part of furthering these conversations, right, Anjali, is minimizing the stigma of mental illness. And I know Randstad really encourages conversations around this within the organization, but how can we normalize having these conversations and being okay with not being okay?
Yeah, I think so. To me, what is very important is acknowledging. I think many times, because of our, of course, as a society, how we have evolved and such a fast paced, we live in a country which is 1.4 billion people almost. And, it's like always a fast running life that we have. I think sometimes just taking a pause and reflecting and building that muscle of empathy in you is something so very important. It is not necessary that the whole world sees the world the way you see. The world is different from different people's perspective. But do you have that muscle in you to recognize and acknowledge that it could be different, and it's very wrong for you to actually measure them or evaluate them from the same point of view that you have? I think building empathy in you is the critical skill. And as we also keep talking about artificial intelligence creeping into our lives, the only thing that differentiates us human is empathy. And if you can't build that, then how much ever Randstad speaks about it or the whole world speaks about it, at the end of the day, we will remain the society that we are. So are we being empathetic around people? Are we letting people be their authentic self? Are we judging them for who they are and actually spending more of our time in judging than actually embracing people for who they are? So I think if we as a society, as an individual, as an organization, encourage our people to be more embracing, to be more empathetic, to be more authentic self of their own, I think that's where we slowly bring about the change. And it's very difficult. It's a complex thing to do, but it's a baby step every day. And you have to take it and you have to consciously do it with a clear intention behind this. I think that to me is what differentiates the world. That's what will differentiate you and the organization you work for.
Absolutely. We might go to the gym to work out our biceps or quadriceps or what will you, but no one talks about how important it is to work out that empathy muscle. I have one final question for you, Anjali. What is your message to anyone in the organization that might be having a bad day, a stressful day, an unhappy day?
I would just say one thing: you're not alone. And all you have to do is just go to the next colleague who you see and just talk it out. And if you are the one who's probably feeling great and you see that the next person sort of doesn't feel himself or herself today, it's your job to kind of just go say a hello and say, hey, how are you doing today? And I think that one simple step can change the world around you. It doesn't need more than that.
What a great way to continue this wellness journey for Randstad. And it's been so very fulfilling and illuminating to have you here and set the tone for an amazing series ahead. So thank you so much, Anjali, for joining us on this first episode. It's been very special.
Thank you so much, Nija. It was wonderful having a conversation with you.
That's a wrap on episode 1 of Randstad India Talent Pod presents Mind Matters. There's so much more in store as we continue this journey. So I'll meet you back here on the podcast. Until then, it's me, Nirja, signing off. Bye-bye.
Randstad India Talent Pod presents Mind Matters.